Welcome to Rendering Insights. In this video, we're going to be drawing a race helmet. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe down below. All right, this is the drawing we're going to be doing. In this case, it's a motorcycle road racing helmet. Super cool piece. All right, we're going to be doing the line work in Illustrator and then bringing that into Photoshop and doing all of our color in layers. All right, let's get started. Okay, here we are in Adobe Illustrator. The first thing you need to do is find what kind of reference you're going to use for drawing your helmet. In this case, I wanted to draw kind of my own helmet shape. This isn't a bell or an Arai or a Shoei or anything. I looked at a lot of different helmets, even in my own collection, and just decided to draw this helmet with these details in here. I thought it was kind of fun. All right, with the pen tool, again, like I say, just drawing all the critical parts, and you can certainly change it later. And then on another layer, I went ahead and drew in the visor and that swivel bolt in there. Okay, and that kind of helps complete that shape. When I sketched this out with the pencil tool first, I kind of drew this shape in here rough like that, and then started playing with that pen tool and bringing in the shape I want. So we're doing a little shortcut here for the tutorial, but at least you can see what we're doing. The only other thing we did on a separate layer was do the basic line work for our graphics that we'll bring into Photoshop. And here are our graphics. Okay, I have a panel, a band that goes around the crown up here, and then some other cool detail in here. And this panel here, we're going to do some pretty trick stuff in Photoshop. So anyway, there is all of our line work, and we're actually going to be bringing all this in together in one layer into Photoshop and putting our color on it. All right, let's get started. Okay, we have brought our line work into Photoshop. And to start with, let's go ahead and make a copy of this layer, all this line work. Let's drag it down over on the right down there to that plus sign and make a copy. All right, on the bottom one, the first one, we're going to go ahead and put in all of our base colors. And this is what that looks like. The helmet's pretty dark. So we drop in this, actually not really black, it's more of a really dark charcoal. And our base color on this is this kind of dark to medium blue in here and white up here in these graphics, like here. And even though this is a black rubber strip, in here we're going to start with gray and then we'll start shading that as we go into the other layer. All right, we'll deal with the visor later. But one thing's kind of fun to do. This helmet's going to have some gold leaf on it. See in here? So in order to simulate that a little bit, a while back I had done a painting on a car with some gold leaf on it. I took a picture of it and scanned that in and put it behind this layer. In other words, when we fill these colors in here, I dropped in this panel. It's actually not this big. It's about this big, the size of that photograph. Drop it in behind it, and with my eraser tool, just erase everything up behind that black line. So it just fills in the background. So it fills in that panel. And I copied it and put it over here and did the same thing. And copied it and put it over here and erased up right up behind there so you won't see it. Of course, it'd be behind the color here, but so it won't show through on the white. All right, just gives it a cool effect. It makes your drawing look a little more interesting for sure. All right, on your next line layer, go ahead and open it up. I guess the last one in this case. We're going to start doing our shading and some highlights in here. And the drawing will start taking some shape. Okay. What's cool about Photoshop, you can work in these different sections. You grab your Magic Wand tool and select this area right here, this blue panel, black above here and here. And when you select it here, obviously pick that down here. With your white paintbrush, real lightly, just start brushing in that highlight in here. It's not super smooth, but by the time we get our graphics and our logos on here, it's not really going to matter. But see, by selecting those together, we can brush that white right over the top. Or if you're not sure, just do the black sections first, brush that in, then come back and select that blue panel and these white ones. if you needed to, and brush in that highlight in there. See, we even have some back here. See how drastic that is? Same thing, once you have those sections selected, you come in here with your gray and start doing some shadows in here. Look up above here. That's a white panel. So right on the edge, you're actually focusing your brushing way out here just so it spills over a little bit onto here, because you don't want to take all that white away. You just want to brush it in and create a light shadow in there down along this edge. All right. And then you come in and select this area and put some of that white in here, maybe a little highlight on the crown of that visor up here, and leave this other color in the background. See that? Same thing in here. We know there's going to be a little bit of a shadow underneath the lip of this visor. So we go in here, we can select these areas right here, and real small with your paintbrush tool, get in here with some black and just brush in those shadows. And it gives it kind of a cool effect. Looks a little more 3D. All right, in this layer also, this bolt in here, it's not going to look like that, but I like this bolt. So I drew it in Illustrator, put it in here. Let's get in here. But just wanted to render that a little bit. So you select that section. Okay, first you drop in that gold color in there, and you select that. And then with the black, just brush in a little bit of shadow down below, and with your white, real carefully do a little bit of highlight up above. And it gives it, I don't know, a cool effect. It looks a little more 3D. All right. Remember that black rubber strip that we started off with gray? We're going to select that, grab our black, and just brush real lightly down here. Just going back and forth till we find what we want. Okay, and then grab our white and real lightly hit it and emphasize it in a few spots. I used it as a little bit of a peak here. Now you're not really going to get much of a reflection off of black rubber, but I'm putting a little bit of one in there anyway. All right, there is our basic shading and highlights on our basic colors. Next, we need to do something on this visor. I didn't want to just have a clear visor in there since we don't have a rider right now in the picture. So I want to do one of those really cool orange gold reflection visors. So that's what I did. I put it on a separate layer here in Photoshop to start with, but you select this area and just look at it. You drop in this lighter yellow-orange color in here, and then with your brush tool, remember this area is selected in here. You open up that brush pretty big, really lightly, and start brushing it in. Then I pull it back and go more toward the edge. So I intentionally making almost like ridges in here, panels. So it's some kind of, I don't know, crazy reflection. And that orange over here, a little more red in it over here, and let it stay light out there. But it just gives a kind of a cool look, especially since everything else is so dark. The last few things we're going to do on this, I wanted to put a little highlight on that bolt. So let's drop that in there. See that? The rest is just going to be logos. I'm putting my little logo down here on the bottom, which I do on my helmets. Okay, and then we're going to put his number up here in that crown. This rider, Bob Schulten, dude is so fast. He deserves some cool paint jobs on his helmet. So this artwork is for a sticker for him. All right, we're going to put a Bell logo in here. And of course, I'm tagging the visor. And then up here, these are his sponsors, you know. We're going to put a little VP Racing Fuel logo in there. And of course, Yamaha, the Graves logo up on the visor. It's almost done. The last two things we're going to put in here is his Red Bull logo on the side, and then his rider logo down here. This is really cool. I did not design this, but it's his, and I'm using it because his helmet's going to have it. All right, well, there is all the critical parts of this helmet, all graphicked up. The only thing left for the drawing anyway, let's put a background in here. Since this is a road racing motorcycle, let's put a track shot in here. So I found a track shot I like just to drop it in. But you notice it's a good shot. A lot of action's taking place on here, but it's pretty harsh. It's really dark. So on another layer, I grabbed some light gray and made a box and just dropped it over the top of this track and behind the helmet, and then backed off the opacity way back to about 20%. Look what that did. It just knocked that thing down so it's not so in your face. So it's there, but it's in the background. All right, there's a quick little rendering tutorial on this helmet. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, please check out our other videos available on Rendering Insights.